everyone, I welcome you all. So the topic for the video is strict and absolute liability. That's also called no fault liabilities under the law of torts. Let's first understand the concept of strict liability. We all know that there are many activities which are so dangerous that they constitute constant danger to person and property to others. The law may deal with them in two ways. First, it may prohibit them altogether, or it may allow them to be carried on for the sake of social utility, but also in accordance with the statutory provisions laying down safety measures and providing for sanction for non-compliance through the doctrine of strict liability. Going for the first is not an option in every case in respect to industries. For example, government can shut down cracker industries but could not shut down mines or for say oil reserves. Corporate liabilities, the concerned industries knows the foreseeable risks inherent in the very nature of activities and have to compensate for the damage caused irrespective of any carelessness on their part. That is why we call it no fault liability. If we look at the highlighted part, defendant is held liable irrespective of whether he could have avoided the particular harm by taking precautions. The rationale behind strict liability is that the activities coming within its fold are those entailing extraordinary risks to others, either in the seriousness of or the frequency of the harm threatened. Next is the origin of strict liability. In the landmark judgment of Rowland versus Fletcher in 1868, the House of Lords laid down the rule recognizing no fault or strict liability. Even if the defendant was not negligent, or rather, even if the defendant did not intentionally cause the harm, he could still be held liable under the rule. So the fact of case were as follow. Rowland is the defendant and Fletcher is the plaintiff. They both were neighbors. Rowland employed some independent contractor to construct reservoir on his land. On the other hand, Fletcher was having mines on his land and he is having some old shafts and passage on the land. The contractor interlinked the shafts and passage with the mines that flooded Fletcher mines away. So you can see from this case that Rowland had not been neglect concerning the fact as he is appointed contractor for doing the task. The House of Lords held the defendant liable by going through the rule of law, that is, if a person brings something that if escapes cause mischief to others, he must take care that it won't happen, and if he does not do so, he is answerable for all the damage which is the natural consequence of its escape. This is the justification and you can go through this. The House of Lords laid down four essentials for the application of rule of strict liability in the case of Rowland versus Fletcher. First, there must be some dangerous thing brought by person on his land. Second, the thing thus brought or kept by the person on his land must escape. Third, Things that escape in fact cause the damage. And fourth, it must be non-natural use of land. So the four essential is dangerous thing, escape, damage, and non-natural use of land. Generally, an employer is not liable for the wrongful act done by an independent contractor. However, it is no defense to the application of this rule that the act causing damage had been done by an independent contractor. In Rallen versus Fletcher itself, the defendants were held liable even though they had got the job done from the independent contractors. There are exceptions to the rule of strict liability. That is, first, default of the claimant. Taking the example of Rayland versus Fletcher. In this case, if the damage is caused by the mistake of Fletcher, then Rayland shall not held liable and the rule of strict liability not applied. Second, act of God. If the mine was flooded away due to heavy rain, then the rule of strict liability doesn't apply and Rayland shall not be held liable. Third, statutory authority. Like taking the example of railway. If railway is constructing railway lines and due to which some of the locals incurred damages, then in this case the rule of strict liability doesn't apply. Next is consent of claimant. If the claimant on his own allow you to do something that he know will cause damage, then in this case also rule of strict liability doesn't apply. Next is act of third party. Taking the example of Raylan versus Fletcher, if the damage is caused by a party, that is say C, then the rule of strict liability doesn't apply. And the last is common benefit. For say Raylan and Fletcher, they both mutually agree to construct the reservoir knowing that it will cause damages. Then the rule of strict liability will not apply. Next is rule of absolute liability. So the application of strict liability but without the exception is absolute liability. The rule of absolute liability was evolved by the landmark case of MC Mehta versus Union of India. The fact of case were as follows. There was the leakage of oleum gas on 4th and 6th December 1985 from one of the units of Shri Ram Foods and Fertilizers Industries located in the city of Delhi, belonging to Delhi Cloth Mills Limited. As the consequences of this leakage, it was alleged that one advocate practicing in Tees Hazari Court had been died and several others were affected by the same. The court had in mind that it was within a period of 1 year that a second case of large-scale leakage of noxious gas in India took place, as just a year back the Bhopal gas tragedy had taken place, where more than 3,000 persons had met tragic and untimely death. The lakhs of others were subjected to disease of serious kind. The court said, we would therefore hold that where an enterprise is engaged in a hazardous or inherently dangerous activity and harm results to anyone on account of an accident, in the operation of such hazardous or inherently dangerous activity resulting, for example, an escape of toxic gas, the enterprise is strictly and absolutely liable to compensate all those who are affected by the accident, and such liability is not subject to any of the exception of strict liability under the rule in Rowland versus Fletcher.